The Saints have their number. We've talked about it repeatedly. The one game Tampa won in there, though, was the important one because it was the playoff game.
I'm saying Tom will finally get revenge.
Okay.
Division games are always tough.
You come in here, you dominating their building. I don't care who the opponent is. Hey, if they got on a different color jersey, lay their ass out. We gonna have to score. Let's get it right. Hey, take the ball away.
It's intercepted. Picked off by Whitfield. The Bucs get the first takeaway. It's fumbled. It's recovered by the Bucs. Tampa Bay's got the football. Pressure. Knocked off the hands and intercepted.
No! They really like that! You see it, boy?
It's just going to be like a slugfest out there.
He's going to be in a zone ready to go to play against a team that's beat him in the regular season.
We had to tell them it's going to be a bigger challenge this week.
It's a rivalry. You always want to beat the division.
It's a smart message to send to challenge the Buccaneers to rise up and get it done.
He's a great target. You know, he's 6'5", he jumps, he's got great ball skills, got great hands, he's got great vision. He does everything pretty well. Anytime I'm throwing a mic, usually good things are happening.
Long ball, Evans. Evans is there. He's got it. Long ball. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Mike Evans reaches up with one hand and grabs it in. Fournette with the lead blocker to the left. Fournette stays on his feet, delivers the blow. Brady throws it. Hit on target again.
This Shaquille Barrett is unbelievable.
Run into a brick wall. I mean, nowhere to go. Picked off. Intercepted. Sideline outside the numbers. 15-10-5. Touchdown, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, there's one of the best blitzing linebackers in the league.
Devin White down the sideline, and the Bucs have the ball. We're in business deep in Saints territory.
Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
It's Madden NFL 23 on EA Sports, and we've got a showdown in the NFC South. It's the Bucs and the Saints, and it's all up next on EA Sports.
Well, folks, it is always a celebration here in New Orleans, and we are just outside of the Hoppin' French Quarter at the Caesars Superdome. Today, we've got an NFC South matchup between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints. Hi again, everyone. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. With me, as always, Charles Davis. And, Charles, we look at a matchup like this. It's really the running backs that may take center stage here today.
And in today's football, they're still valuable, not just as runners, but guys who can catch the ball as well. It's really the number of touches that determines things these days.
Last play. Made a nice catch and picked up a first down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, usually gets it done. The numbers there for Kamara from a week ago. 16 carries, 77 yards, and a touchdown.
That's a good start to the season. They got the win, and they were able to establish a good running game. Nothing that just blew people away, but a nice solid base to get things started, and they expect that to get tuned up and get better as the season moves on.
Play action now, Dalton. Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. And now 3rd down and 6 to go. The Bucs and Saints expected to possibly be the two to slug it out for the NFC South title in 2022. The Saints have had the Bucs number pretty much since the arrival of Tom Brady, at least in the regular season. They're 4-0 against Tampa Bay the last 2 seasons in the regular season. But remember, when Tampa won the Super Bowl, they did defeat New Orleans en route to that title. A gain of 8 and a 1st down.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. 1st down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
A 1st down throw coming for Dalton. He's got Thomas yet again, complete. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line. Another completion right there. And again, Charles, good time in the pocket. That offensive line on this opening drive been really solid.
They've been more than solid. They've really tamped down the pass rush and kept him safe in the pocket, able to look around, find his target, and deliver. He's got to make sure he tells their offensive line in the huddle, thanks, fellas. Let's keep it going.
And he'll go down at the 28. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down. Again, it's Kamara. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6. Well, this defense for the Buccaneers, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
And what I saw on film was a nearly unstoppable pass rush. 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries given up. So now what do you do on offense? You just max protect, keep everyone in and run the ball? Or maybe just 1 or 2 receiver routes in order to try and keep your quarterback upright?
They'll be brought down at the 21 after a pickup of 4.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Play number 9 set to come here on the drive on 3rd and 2. Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he won't be close to a runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
So on 4th down, on comes Saints kicker Will Lutz. From the right hash, it's a 38-yard attempt. The kick by Lutz is good. And the Saints are going to take a 3-0 lead. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating 1st downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. Well, for a little bit, we thought his story had concluded, but not to be. Here's Tom Brady in his 23rd NFL season, leading the Bucs offense out once again.
And he was terrific in the opener, threw 3 touchdown passes, and make no mistake about it, he was eager to get right back out and do it again. So I think we'll see him try to test the secondary quite a bit as this game goes on.
Brady going to bring the Bucs up with a 1st and 10 at their own 24. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Slant route to Miller. A look at the numbers from last week for Miller. 6 catches, 101 yards.
And in the preseason, I thought he was primed for a big, big year. And week 1 did absolutely nothing to diminish those expectations.
6 yards left on second down. On the draw, here's Bernard. And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. That'll go as a loss of 9, and it leads to third down.
You know when I could tell this is going to end really badly? When he launched himself behind the line and made a beeline for the ball carrier. You get one of those tackling machines in the middle on your trail, things are normally ending pretty quickly.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
Scramble drill there, partner. Some teams have some pretty good rules for it. Others are just saying, make sure you work your way back into the sight lines of your quarterback, even if you take the play deep. And that's what they attempted to do on that one, unable to connect.
And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. Well, pretty woeful there, just 23 yards on the punt. And the Saints will have a short field in front of them. They take over here, 1st and 10. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their second drive. Now, early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game, but I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice, but at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. 22 yards there, a 1st down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down. Passing, it's Dalton. Looking for Landry, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Levante David. The 40. The 20. And it's a pick 6. He brings it back to the house for a Buccaneer TD. An excellent play there, CD, on the pick 6. And I think were they a nickel? Did they have an extra DB out there?
Yeah, Brandon, I think they were in standard nickel, not the Buffalo, as teams like to call it, meaning 3 safeties for big nickel. They just wanted to take away the quarterback's throwing lanes, and that's exactly what they did and came through with a big-time pick 6.
And this is no good. He missed it. Not a good start here in the kicking department as this remains a 6-3 score. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. The New Orleans offense set to take over. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick 6, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick 6 and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone. And they'll use him out in the backfield, and sometimes quite a bit. They're just trying to get him touches any way they can. 4 catches a week ago, there's another one right there.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. They'll run out of the gun with Kamara. And the defense closes quickly there. He'll get maybe a yard to the 33.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
And he is going to have a Saints first down by a couple of yards as they're able to get 4 there on 3rd and 2.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. And I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
A 10th carry for Kamara. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. 6-3 is our score after 1. It's the NFL on EA Sports. The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. They run it again with Kamara. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of you are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the second half. But right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a first down, pick it up, and keep moving.
From midfield here, Dalton. He'll find its tight end. It's Adam Troutman. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
Now Dalton with a 1st and 10. Quick slant. That's caught by the 5'11" Landry. And they're going to move it down inside the 25.
I tell you what, it looks like he's shaking off that pick 6 just fine. It's not just defensive backs that have to have short memories. Quarterbacks utilize that as well. A much more confident throw right there.
Dalton's throw taken in by Landry. And he's going to be taken down right at the 10-yard line.
Even in a down year statistically, Juice Landry still produced over 50 catches to lead Cleveland in his final season there. A milestone awaits Landry, though, this season. He's almost a lock to jump into the top 50 all-time for receptions. One of those goes for a first down this time.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. They get it to Washington, running left. And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. No gain that time, and it leaves them.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
The offense on 3rd down, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. And Dalton to throw. This will be caught at about the 5. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
The kick by Lutz is good, and that will tie things up at 6-6. So a long drive gets him down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. Week 2 underway around the NFL, and a reminder that later tonight it'll be Chicago and Green Bay in the Packers home opener, the 101st season of that great rivalry. They had the 100th anniversary last year. And then tomorrow night a treat, a Monday night doubleheader, Tennessee and Buffalo, 7:15 Eastern, and then Minnesota and Philly kicking off a little over an hour later. They're unable to connect, but a late flag comes in. And the contact may have come too early. So a PI call going to cost him there defensively. What did you see?
Well, I think it's the right call, partner, because sometimes we'll see officials kind of let them play. But by the letter of the law, that's definitely a penalty.
Now Bernard. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Good yardage there on first down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making first downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your second down play.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. Brady gives this to White. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. The Bucs at 1-0 on the year following the win in Week 1. And this would be quite a start for them if they could win 2 straight on the road.
Yeah, the schedule makers didn't do him any favors. They gave him 2 road games right out of the gate. But the thinking on the team has to be, imagine if we win these 2 games. What a setup for the rest of the season for us.
They go right back to White here on first down. And some room to work. Now they nearly sprung him that time as he takes this all the way down to the 37. 14 yards there and a Buccaneer first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Opting to run again here with White. And tough sledding. He'll get maybe a yard. Stop short of the 35. Well, Charles, now we take a look here at their 2022 draft class. No first-round pick for them this year, but it seems like they're able to overlook that, at least in talking to them, with the type of upside that they found on days 2 and 3.
Hey, you're right about that. No first-round pick, maybe. But there was a point where their top selection did have his name thrown out there as a possible first-rounder. So now, as you described, they're hoping they can develop those traits and get a couple of difference makers out of the middle rounds.
And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. From the gun on 3rd down, Brady. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And that could be one of those turning point plays in a ball game. A field goal gets you the lead here, but they want to make a statement and get 6 points. And they're certainly going to get that opportunity as they get the conversion and set up 1st and goal.
Here's Bernard. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Giovanni Bernard. His 2nd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Bucs are going to take the lead. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a 2nd one in Week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. Extra point put through by Succop, and they will take a 7-point lead. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And a short kick taken at about the 16. And they got to be pleased with this. He brings it all the way up to the 40-yard line.
Now that's the kind of return you're looking for. To get to that spot on the field, that allows you to do a lot of things on offense.
Now the Saints, they trot their offense out here. Now they're about to come up on drive number 4, but so far just 2 field goals on drives 1 through 3.
Wondering if the head coach has talked with his offensive coordinator and said, look, let's go ahead and press this a little bit. I'm giving you 4 downs on just about every occasion to try and get this offense kick-started and have it culminate in touchdowns. You know, maybe someday you press it a little bit. This might be the case.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
It's another zone defense. It looks like it's open for possibilities, but they did a nice job patrolling the middle of the field and forcing an incompletion.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Here's Dalton. Downfield, and he's got Olave. Now he's loose down the middle of the field. Touchdown! Chris Olave. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Saints are able to strike quickly here as they are in for 6. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, you know, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
All square now at 13 all as he sends this one away. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You could never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
They'll begin here with Bernard. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Again, here's Bernard. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Taken down by Pete Werner. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Brady deferring to White on the draw. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. It's a gain of 11, and the Bucs have a 1st down. So we come upon halftime with a tie score, 13 all. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, we'll get you back to you and Charles in a bit, but first it's time for a trip around the NFL following an eventful opening weekend. Let's see what's happening in Week 2. We begin in the NFC. Carolina making the trip north to take on the New York Giants. and it's the Giants who are out in front in the second quarter. Daniel Jones, 2 touchdown passes thus far. From there, we head over to Detroit. Check on the Lions at home, Ford Field. And you can see, currently they trail in that ball game. Taylor Heineke, 4 touchdown passes. Finally, let's get you to Baltimore. Check on the Ravens at home at M&T Bank Stadium. And that one all even in their matchup with the visiting Dolphins. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been as tight as we expected, all tied through one half of play. For the call of the second half, let's get it back to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start in the third quarter. Well, the first half, very even. I mean, really, in all facets, this ball game tied, Charles. So as we start the third quarter, curious to see what the second half brings us.
Certainly am. I'm with you on that one. And we all know a lot of coaches from the NFL all the way down to the Pee-wee level. They love to spin it to their teams. Hey, we're starting a brand new, shorter ball game. It's all even. Let's go out and seize it. This is ours.
They'll run it here with Bernard. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 46 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
First down, here's White. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
A draw play. Bernard. And this one not going anywhere. They get him at the 44 for a gain of just a yard.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. And for the Saints here on third down, an extra defensive back on the field. To throw, it's Brady. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off by the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football. So an opening drive interception to begin this second half.
And just think about the time you spent in the locker room going over what you expected to do in the second half. Not the way they saw it, not the way they drew it up. You find out this is something that you can't just edit, right? There's no rewrite here. This is live, and now they've got to find a way out of this hole.
Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. Their D gets the INT. Now what can Dalton do? And this is going to be incomplete.
That incompletion certainly slows things down a little bit and brings up a very important call for 2nd and long. What do? Run and try and get some yardage and make it third manageable? Or challenge the coverage again, hoping for a bigger gain?
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. To throw here, Dalton. And down he goes, a Buccaneer sack. It'll go as a loss of 3 on the sack, and it brings up third down. That's their first time getting to the quarterback, sack number 1. And, you know, they had 5 last week, I'm remembering.
And you have to find a way to slow down the pass rush, not necessarily with just protecting your quarterback, but you show them a lot of different looks, and they did that in the first half. You know, different angles, different things to slow down the speed. They got to him here in the second half. Now they've got to come up with a counter to that and maybe do something different.
3rd and long. What will Dalton dial up? They'll get this out to Kamara. And he can only manage to get this to the 45-yard line. Well short of the first. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down.
How about that strategy there, Brandon? 3rd down. They just said, we've got faith in our tacklers. We'll give you the short stuff, and just decided to protect the sticks. So every time I hear fans telling me tackling's not a part of the game anymore, plays like that, I can clip and save and show them you have to tackle well if you want to be a good defense.
The Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive. In particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to look to hit a couple shorter passes and get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you've got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even fast.
Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Marcus May with a pick. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football. Boy, that one was in the air for an agonizingly long time.
Just begging to be picked off, wasn't it? It's one thing if you're throwing a ball like that, trying to throw someone open or lead them into an area. But that ball needed to be thrown with a lot more conviction. As a result, it's an easy interception.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
I'll give them credit winning that first snap and forcing an incompletion. They're hoping that'll deflate the offense a little bit after they took the field charged up after taking over after a turnover.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Dalton, throw left side complete to Troutman. And he'll be brought down at the 27.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
They haven't made much of this great starting field position they had. Here's 3rd and 6. Now Dalton. Throwing out right here, caught by Olave. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, field goal gets you the lead, and they're in range, but they're not looking to settle for 3. They're thinking 6. That's a nice throw there on 3rd down to keep the chains moving.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. He'll get forward for 3 down to the 16-yard line.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. Open man is the tight end Troutman. They'll wind up getting just a yard out of it. And now 3rd down and 6 to go. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. 3rd down, a shot here for Dalton. That's complete to his running back, Kamara. And the Saints are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. Try to pound it in, Kamara. And he'll work his way closer to the goal line as he's got 5 down to the 3. So that run gets him about halfway home.
Yes, now 2nd and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again, or they can go play action and try and put it in that way.
And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice.
But I often think that second down is a time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory. And I know this quarterback. His instinct, he's going to want to go for it here on 4th and goal. I want to see if the rational heads on the sidelines prevail and they say this late in the game, let's get 3 in the lead. This debate is going to be fun.
The kick by Lutz is good, and they have regained the lead. So they got the turnover, started with great field position, but in the end, the defense able to hold firm, and they only get 3 out of it.
And I like what you said right there. Hold firm, backed up into the shadow of their own end zone. Goalpost right behind them. They had to make sure they didn't give up the 6. And, boy, they came through in a big way. To them, even though they gave up 3, that's a win for their side.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Although his reputation as a speedy runner precedes him, it's always fun to watch him work.
It is eye-opening, isn't it? Because when you see him get the ball and just go, in addition to that speed, it helps out his blockers. They don't have to hold blocks for long because he's just going to speed right past them.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now Brady. Looking downfield for Godwin. And this one nearly picked off. Kind of surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but get away it does, and it's 2nd down. Brady. This is caught by Evans. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down. Well, he's had the interception woes in this one, Charles, and that time a little bold to throw it into double coverage, but he beat the double coverage.
Yeah, but I admire that he still will challenge defenders downfield, even though the ball's been in jeopardy a few times in this game. A nice ball there against multiple defenders, and they advance it downfield.
We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. From midfield, here's Brady. Steps away. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
They're not out of it yet, but in order to come back, they need to play clean football the rest of the way. He makes the correct read there, passing on challenging a blanket coverage and getting the 1st down with his legs instead.
On 1st and 10, here's Brady. And this is caught. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. That one good for 37 yards.
That could very well be a defining play in this game. A touchdown, that gives them the lead, and they took a major step towards getting there with that big play right there.
Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown, and that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal. White is into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. This has definitely been a back-and-forth affair, and now they have the lead here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, and they gave up the field goal on that last drive, as we remember, but it felt like their offense told them, don't worry about it. We've got your backs. We'll come back with a touchdown of our own, and they did.
Extra point try now for Succop. He missed one earlier, remember, but this time he gets it to go. So that drive 7 plays in length. And that drive was finished off with a run from the rookie, Rachaad White. The Bucs ready for the kickoff. And here we go. It's in the air. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. We certainly have a good one on our hands. They're trailing after that last touchdown, but now a chance for this offense to try to snag that lead right back here in the fourth quarter. Dalton, 1st and 10. Targeting Thomas on the out route, making the catch. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. A man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Kamara again. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
12 yards there, good for a Saints first down.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there, not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
Yeah, he's able to force his way through one man, but he can muster only about a yard on the play. 2nd down. Again, it's Kamara pushing forward for 3 up to the 48. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Landry. And this will not be enough. On 3rd and 5, he only gets 3.
I thought they might take a shot down the field, but instead they ran a little drag route there. I think they were hoping he could catch it and run away from the defender. But a really good job keeping the play in front of them, and they force a 4th down.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Now the Buccaneer offense gets set to take over. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game, and you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
On 2nd down, they'll run with White. Takes this to the 27. Give him 4 yards. Now the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but works.
Right, but the problem for them is still within a possession. So they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
On the draw, here's Bernard. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
Now that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
Brady gonna go on 4th down. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And that's caught inside the 35. And he is going to have the Buccaneers first down as they manage to convert, and that'll keep the drive alive. Fourth down conversion plays, you usually think 1, 2, 3 yards, maybe 10. Not there. What a huge pickup as the Sticks make a drastic shift forward. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. Working with the lead, trying to get to 2-0. Here's 1st and 10. Now a carry for Bernard. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. So they come up on another run like we just saw. Would likely put an end to this thing. They'll run again with Bernard. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2. That'll leave him with just 1 remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. To throw is Brady. Evans has it left side. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 15-yard line. Brady gives this to White. And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. 49 yards rushing for him now to this point. If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down. Now a give up the middle. This is White. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. It's a pickup of 5, and that should just about wrap this one up. It's 1st and goal and a late touchdown at this stage. Could officially salt this one away. Here's White. And he's across for the touchdown. And in the final minute, that should just about seal it. So he's had a nose for the end zone here in the early part of the season. 2 touchdowns for him now in this one to go along with the one he had in the opener as well.
Yeah, he certainly finds where the goal line is and finds a way to get across it. But you know who else senses it? The guys that block for him. Because he has that instinct, I think they hold the blocks just a little bit longer.
Extra point up and good by Succop. And that pushes the lead up to 11. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. Dalton and the offense now. Down by 11. A little over 30 seconds remaining. It's an extremely tall order in front of them, but they've got the ball with a first down. Dalton's throw complete there to Thomas. Here's Dalton. Pass complete. Thomas. It'll be a gain of 5, and that'll bring up 2nd down. So time has run out on what will be a Tampa Bay victory, and they were spurred on by a strong performance in that fourth quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game, but when you throw one in the fourth quarter, that tells everyone that you're getting stronger and dominance is starting to take over, right? The way that you close, the way that you finish, that gets preached to you from the time you're playing Little League football all the way up through. And they closed them out with a big-time performance down the stretch.
So for Tampa Bay, it's a dream start. 2 wins in 2 early road games. And they'll return home next week to take on the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, they'll fall to 1-1. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Carolina Panthers. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time.